Hey, I watched your video, the Wisdom of Insecurity, that you posted like a week ago. So this message might be, or this reply might be a bit late. But I wanted to add a few thoughts to what you, yeah, to your video. So first of all, we are the proud owners of the same book. Mine is with a slightly more psychedelic, colorful version. Um, so anyway, you started your video by saying that someone had contacted you and wanted to have some advice on forming a worldview, I guess you could call it, um, and feeling insecure about not knowing, and at the same time sort of feeling stuck because of not wanting to be dogmatic about something, and I guess just picking a ready-made worldview to be done with it. So I agree with your initial advice from the book. I mean, the need for security. I mean, there's a dynamic there. I mean, the need for security creates the insecurity in a way. So you said that the way to treat it is just to sit back and laugh at it. And I think that's a good that's good advice. But I have to give you some critique on your conclusion, because you came to the conclusion. I mean, I guess it's where the book is headed as well, that I mean, you said luckily that there's no one to feel insecure because you are not who you think you are. And I mean, along the lines of the ego being a construct of the mind. And but yeah, I mean, the critique isn't really on that view. It's more about giving this view as advice to someone who might be in, I mean, a pretty early stage of questioning his or her worldview. So this advice, I felt it might be a bit heavy to give to someone. So I would probably instead try and send this person on his or her merry way to find out the answers. I mean, in a natural, developmental way. I mean, you arrive at conclusions through living. So anyway, if I were to, I mean, if this person had contacted me and asked me for advice, then I would probably begin by just, it seems to me like this person is treating it as a problem. You feel insecure about not knowing. You want to find a solution, like a problem and a concrete solution. But that's where initially it's the wrong approach. Because this isn't a problem. Forming a worldview is more like a process. It's not something you can rush and just pick something. I mean, I just will something to. I mean, this is what I want to believe in, so that will lead to this dogmatic view. So I think first of all, see it as a process, an ongoing process, and I mean, sort of realize that a worldview is something which you in many ways you live your worldview, because every day you add to it. You might take away old, obsolete things. So I mean, even if your worldview just changes drastically over, I mean, 20 years from now, and you felt like, oh man, I didn't know anything back then. I mean, that's still a stepping stone to reaching somewhere. You can't rush that. So I mean, it's a process that has to run its course, and I mean, I think it actually never ends. Life is the process of forming your worldview. And the insecurity, I mean, the only reason why you would see it as something bad, I mean, it can really mess with you, I guess, feeling insecure all the time. Of course, you'd want to get rid of that. But I think the realization that is pretty easy to connect is that the insecurity is a natural stage of being the questioner. I mean, the being the questioner of a worldview. I mean, you're being handed a worldview. I mean, from society. And obviously this person has started questioning that. And with that comes insecurity, naturally. I mean, it's without the insecurity, there would be no question to begin with. Why did you start questioning things? I mean, it's sort of, you shouldn't strive to get rid of it. I mean, the insecurity is an expression of wanting to look further than just what you're told. So I think you don't have to push the problem aside and to just get rid of the insecurity. I mean, if you treat it this way, if you treat it as almost a creative process, and live your worldview, I think you can I think this person can sort of shift the line of thinking with this, and sort of, I mean, one day he or she might be ready to pick up the awesome book by Alan Watts and just totally get it, or maybe not. Who knows where this person is going with this? But it's, to me, it looks good from where I'm standing. I mean, just initially having the realization that you don't want to be dogmatic. I mean, you've already gone so far just by realizing that you don't want to just fake it. You want to arrive at something which feels right. So yeah, that would be probably the advice that I would give. That would be maybe easier to understand for someone who's just starting out. I mean, I think the reason why I wanted to reply to this is because I've been in this position myself pretty recently. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that I started really digging into my beliefs and sort of trying to reshape my own worldview. And like I said, it's an ongoing thing. It doesn't really end after a month or a year. I mean, but the stages of it, I mean, the insecurity is just the initial stage where you're sort of freaking out because it feels like you're deconstructing your whole life almost, and it's unsettling. But yeah, I mean, it's a natural part of it. It's a stage, and it will shift. And you might even turn the insecurity might even turn into curiosity, as this sort of genuine joy for just exploring life. So hopefully that might help, and that perspective might help. So I wanted to just add that. So thank you.